Hello, welcome back to the Grange on Main. I'm Nelson. Hopefully you'll stick around today for the adventures at hand. We're going to really start the transition period of the farmyard here in preparation for our new home coming. We have to take down a pretty large cedar tree coming in the driveway because of the width issues. It's right where the gate is now that we have, which all that's going to be changing anyway. We're going to be doing a lot of fencing in and new electric gate out towards the closer to the end of the road. So it was kind of bittersweet, if you will. I talked to my mom about it. It's been here for quite a while. We uplifted it and did a lot of trimming on it when I first started to reclaim, and made the entranceway beautiful. But there's a lot of change going to go on that side of the driveway anyway that I'll explain a little bit more hopefully today as we go along. It'll make more sense. So it's really not that big of a deal for it to be gone. My buddy's on the way. We're gonna put him on the chainsaw today. We're gonna use the service truck and winch to give it a little tug. Hopefully we can fail it out right up in the, we call it the L-shaped pasture. I made hay there. I'll show you that in a few minutes. But he doesn't get on camera. You can't over here from the farm channel, you know that already. Helps me a whole lot. An asset really to some of the things that I do that I can't get done by myself. But we'll give you as much footage as we possibly can. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you know anybody that's interested in any of this stuff, like I said, it's all prep work. The main issue with this, taking the tree out today, is not for aesthetics. It's more for the purpose of width issues for getting our home in here. So come along with us and see what we can get into. The wind's awful. Overlook it. So there's the tree. For right now, we're going to cut it above the chain, hopefully, and still utilize it as a pole for right now. Get the tree down, and then when we get within a day or two of the house showing up, we'll cut the stump off level with the ground, and I'll have that ground down stump grinder. I got to take this out. I took a little bit of section of fence down, so the fence came down, and then here is the perimeter. So basically what we're going to do, I had this surveyed. This little plot up here is a little acre tract that still belongs to a family member for history purposes, legacy. So the property line for that comes down to this, and then it goes over. Probably can't see through the trees, but there's another stake right over there, and then from that stake it goes back that way and makes kind of a small L. So basically we're going to put our fencing and trees along this line. So there is an existing fence here in this group of trees. I don't know if you can see the stake or not. Maybe you can. He surveyed that. That's the corner stake of that little acre tract. But there's existing fence there. So from this point that way, and all this group of trees is going to come out, and this will be yard, and then we'll tie back in right here, and then that fence goes up that way. So that'll be our perimeter, and then from that stake we'll go all the way out to the road with the trees and the fence, and then closer to our electric gate, automatic gate. So when we're all finished, this whole group of overgrowth, basically, this used to be a nice pasture, and this has just grown up over the years. All this will be gone. So then from the state road all the way in will be a yard that I can maintain, and we'll come over here on this side and take out that little cedar right there, and this little corner is one that blew over in the wind years ago, and it'll go all the way down to my shop. And of course the other house will be gone at that point too. But anyway, it gives you a little rundown on it. Okay, well, I didn't get you much footage of the rigging process, and there's a reason for that. We forgot the slingshot this morning to get the beanbag up there to pull the rope in, so we may do with some ladders. Unconventional, because I'm using the winch. I'm not going to put elasticity, whatever you want to say that word, rope in the mix, or straps. So we've got chain and cable. It'll hold more than that, and it's not a shock load. I'm sure I'm going to get ridiculed for that, but I want to make sure that the winch doesn't overpower anything else as far as ropes or straps. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go around back now and see if we can get the winch hooked up and see how far out we need to get the truck. And I'm probably going to hopefully let my buddy run the remote as he's cutting, so he can put as much tension on as he wants to instead of us trying to communicate. So me get back here and get set up, and I'll bring you back. Well, you'd think we knew what we were doing. He does anyway. Came down very well. Look at the inside. So that's what I'm talking about these cedars. I'm gonna say what we got, 4 inches of meat. This side wasn't too bad. If you go straight out, maybe 6 or 8 inches. And you see how big around that is. So it's just a matter of time with these big ones before they're gonna come down. That's exactly what happened to the one down there in the bottom. But let me show you what Grandpa left me as a surprise. And I've already sharpened the saw twice, and we'll go up here and look and see if we got the steak. I hadn't even been up there yet or not. So I'm guessing these are axle nuts for a disc, probably. Yeah, chainsaw. This one, the last one, was right here like that, and this one was about right here. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how in the world they got in the center of the tree. I mean, I know it grew around them, but I don't understand what it would have been doing unless that was some kind of holder for a gate pin or something. I don't know. But all kinds of nails and screws in the top part. But we've got enough stump here to keep my gate shut, and then I'll have to run the bob wire back over to here and back down to keep the honest man out for right now. I'm gonna try to come in and cut it right there below the limbs and take that log. That way I can back in here with a 1086 and spin it around. Still don't have the loader going yet. I'm over at the farm channel, but we'll get it dragged down there hopefully, and we can get it cut up and pushed in the brush pile soon. Look at there. That's professionalism. Didn't even take out my steak. The winch setup worked good because he was able to, especially with being rotten, just put a little tension on it, listen to it pop and crack, a little tension, instead of trying to jerk on it with a tractor or something like that. So that worked out good. I know you guys probably don't like the cable and chains, but it's more for tension. It started over on its own once he got that back cut pretty good, and then we just finished it off with the winch. So I sure did open things up down there. So that's what I like. I will probably end up taking the second one down too, because what's going to happen is in a windstorm it's going to blow over and blow on those power lines. not going to walk out there just because I'm completely out of gas, but you can probably see the stobs there, separate the property line. Like I said earlier, we've got some crepe myrtles up there that are over on me. I talked to the gentleman that owns the house here. He's renting it. He said that was perfectly fine. We've been neighbors for years. We'll bring the fence down along those stobs there, and then we'll back off 5 or 6 feet and put our trees, and then we'll tie into this fence up there in the weeds where I showed you this morning, and then all this underbrush and fence and everything will be gone. The stump will go down, you know, ground level. I'll probably get somebody to grind it, all these poles, and we'll stop the fence over there like I was saying. But then of course we took the stop down. I've got a piece of metal drove in the ground while we moved the tree, but we'll plant privacy trees back to that corner over there, and then we'll just see how much it opens up. When I get all this clear, I may run some privacy trees all the way down to the corner of my shop there, just to kind of keep eyeballs off of everything. We'll see. I got the sign on the gate there, you know, that'll be moved of course out towards the end of the road, but for right now it's what we've got. The fencing is pretty bad. I ran out of steam again with the manual post hole diggers, so didn't get my pole in the ground and started pulling barbed wire. It got pretty loose, but it's a deterrent. That's all it is anyway. The tree, bittersweet, but I'm glad we got it down. Everything went good as far as with the winch and all. I'm glad we actually did that. I think I said that earlier, but with it popping and cracking and carrying on, it wouldn't have taken much to snap those loose pieces there. So we're probably going to core drill that one and see if it's mushy on the inside like that. I'm probably going to go ahead and take it down too before I get my trees and fencing up, just because if it goes, that's the power lines there to the transformer that feed my neighbor's house, my house, the barn, and the shop. So no sense in leaving it just for decoration if there's a chance on it causing some kind of problem. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me get situated here and we'll call this one good, I think. Well, I think I'm gonna go home, get a shower, and take the wife out to dinner and give her a hard time about why she wasn't here today. No, she had to go help my youngest daughter put up some backsplash, so no problems there. We got finished what we needed to get finished. You know, that was a stipulation to go to the next step in the process. The dotted line has not been signed on yet, so subject to change, of course. But I think the Lord steered us in that direction to see how bad the trees were as far as being rotten and could create futuristic issues. So worked out pretty good. Hopefully enjoyed it. Not sure how good the footage turned out. I know I got some drone footage here or there, but you know, like I said, every step, everything I'm doing is all for making the farm our home. It's things that we needed to do. There's a lot of Charlotte's Web that we're having to undo just because. So bring you guys along for it, and really appreciate everything. If you're here and you're not subscribed, please consider. It doesn't cost you a thing. There's going to be a lot of content coming down the ladder. I'm going to get back on the house now that we've taken care of that. I mean, as much as I want to continue on taking down trees and getting my fence up, we need to make sure we got the house squared away so that when they're ready to come, and that's the situation we're going to do, then everything's out of the way and they're ready. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days, guys. Until then, thank you.